Ralph here from Wood Academy. And in this video, I'd like to reintroduce you to the ZEROPLAY Guide Bar system from MicroJig. Now, if you've been following us for any amount of time, you know that MicroJig is one of our sponsors, and there's a reason for that. I use their products every day in my shop. They're an integral part of everything I do. And the ZEROPLAY has always been one of my favorites, but I've always thought it was a little bit underappreciated in the market. Some of my earliest jigs used the ZEROPLAY, and even my most recent project, the Saw Setup Guide, uses the ZEROPLAY to hold it in place accurately on your saw to get accurate setups. Heck, I even used it for the router sled that works with our saw track system. So the ZEROPLAY has always been one of my favorites, and it's finally getting the attention it deserves in the market with the release of the 360 Sled plans and the 360 Sled kit from MicroJig. The plans are available for free from their website, and the new kit allows users to buy the kit to build the sled. But this new popularity has led to a lot of questions about the ZEROPLAY, what saws it works on, which ones it doesn't, how to set it up, and all of that sort of thing. And in this video, we're going to go through that process and answer those questions. Now let's talk for a minute about setting up the ZEROPLAY Guide Bar itself to fit your miter slot. The ZEROPLAY comes as two pieces that as you slide them back and forth together, they become wider or narrower, and that's how you fit the slots. The problem is that if you set your ZEROPLAY in here, it's quite a bit down inside my miter slot. If I set the dimension here, that might do, but it might not. The ZEROPLAY itself actually rides right up at the top of the slot just underneath your sled. So that's the best place to adjust it. A pair of washers, like I have here, or nickels, work really, really well. Put those in the miter track, slide the ZEROPLAY until it's as narrow as possible, set it on top of the washers. Now, gently push the two pieces together until they hit the edges of the miter slot. Do not press hard. Just a little bit is all you need, just touching. Then, the three set screws are locked in place. This miter slide is now ready to be used. I'll flip it over, set it back in the slot. Now I can set my jig on top, and it's easy to catch the holes. Sometimes when you first set up your ZEROPLAY, you may find after you set it up and get it aligned on your jig that it's a little loose or a little too tight. Just take it apart and reset it until you get it right. But once you do it once or twice, it's easy to do. As you adjust the ZEROPLAY in and out, it can be adjusted from 0.73 inches to 0.79 inches. That gives you a pretty fair variation above and below a standard 3/4 slot. Not all slots are exactly 3/4, and this will adjust to fit 90% of the 3/4 slots out there on the market. But if you're not sure, you can simply measure your miter slot. If it's less than 0.73 or more than 0.79, the ZEROPLAY won't work. Also, the newest models of Ryobi and Craftsman saws made by Ryobi, the ZEROPLAY will not fit. Instead of having a T-slot to keep the miter gauge from tipping, those saws have wings or tabs cast into the top of the miter slot. The ZEROPLAY won't work with that. Unfortunately, neither will any other aftermarket miter bar or miter gauge that you can buy. None of them will work with the Ryobi or the new Craftsman saws. Older Craftsman saws, not a problem. The other part is you can buy individual ZEROPLAY guide bars, and they come with the two pieces that make up the ZEROPLAY, the three little screws that hold it together, the three mounting screws, washers, and the Allen wrench to tighten it all up. You can also buy a dual pack of the ZEROPLAYs. But be careful. The dual pack comes with MicroJig's ZEROPLAY stop. And I love the stop, but while the ZEROPLAY will work in any miter slot, whether or not it has a T in the bottom of the slot, T-shaped or U-shaped, this will work. The stop only works inside the T slot. So if your saw doesn't have a T slot, do not buy the dual pack of ZEROPLAY guide bars from MicroJig. Buy 2 singles. It'll save you a few dollars, and you won't be buying and paying for a piece that you don't need. I really like the stops, and if you have T slots, then by all means, buy the double pack and get the stops. They can be used to stop a jig. They can be set anywhere in the T slot and locked in place, but they can also be used with a carriage bolt and knob that come with them, 1/4-20, to hold down feather boards or thin rip jigs or cove cutting jigs or anything else that you need to clamp to the top of your table. These are awesome for that, but they only work with T slots.